Talk 31. Erase the ego. One tries to conceive of reality. It cannot be done, as reality is by nature beyond any concept or imagination. There is no imagination in Para Brahman. The self, Atman, is beyond concept, nirvikalpa. And hence the self is where imagination fails. As self cannot be found by thoughts, one cannot think about it. The self is not visible and not felt. It has no form and no color. Then how to know that which has no quality? If you cultivate a habit, you acquire it. If you form a habit of thinking such as the self knows all, but none knows the self, then you attain truth. One remains ignorant without thoughtfulness. Seek the company of the holy. Live in this world of 5 elements with awareness. The 5 elements of space and air, fire, water, and earth are dictating to you. You should slowly separate that elemental world from yourself with knowledge. This means that the world should be left aside. When I am not the body, then how can this elemental world be mine? You can either have God or the world. Before the Mahabharata war, Lord Krishna said to the Kauravas, I am on one side, my army will be on the other. Take whichever you want. The Kauravas took the army, which means that they took the world, and the Pandavas took God on their side. Lord Krishna said, I am without quality and without shape, and I shall hold no weapon in my hand. The elemental world should be set aside with the help of knowledge. The ego or aham should be allowed to ebb away, yet it does not subside. Those people to whom no good comes, despite listening continuously to the yoni, are considered as fallen. If one has understood that the body is of a low caste, and it continues on only with body consciousness, know that he is but a dead body, a corpse. Consider them as fallen if they have heard words of wisdom, yet feel no devotion. Ego should ebb away, yet it does not vanish. This condition is called the state of the jiva. The notions of I and mine are the reason that one has become a jiva. These concepts should be removed. Absolute reality, Brahman, is what it is. The feeling of I must vanish, yet it does not leave. Aham, this false I, is in the form of a feeling of ignorance. The scriptures have enunciated many methods for effacing the ego. Aham is the most crooked of letters in Sanskrit. One who has seen the death of his own ego is very fortunate. I saw my death with my own eyes. The ritual was indeed without a parallel, says Saint Tukaram. The effort of the jiva is directed towards increasing the ego. I am an aspirant. I am a realized being. I am like this and I am like that. You nourish the one who should be killed by your efforts. If you erase the ego, you are reality. I am narrating to you how one nourishes the ego. All the visible manifest world is perishable and is not true. As it is perishable, it is seen. If it were not perishable, there would not have been a seer. Because there is the seer, there is the seen. Whatever is done in this world is the deed of the mind and intellect. Whatever you see or say, you do so because mind and intellect exist. Therefore, as long as you are, the ego is susceptible to praise and abuse. Whatever action is done by the senses. Whatever is done by the senses is done by the ego. You must surrender completely to the Satguru, saying, my brain is not working at all. For the more you make use of your intellect, the more it grows. If you act depending upon the Guru's intellect, your involvement with this world will cease. Then alone are you destroyed, that is, the I and mine. And only then does one understand his own death. As Lord Krishna said, take refuge in me, renounce all of your duties and responsibilities. Only thus will your ego leave you. We are all Para Brahman, beyond the Absolute. And if you take refuge in the Sadguru, you will realize this. For this, you have to leave your old ways. The one who wants to realize has to break this ego. If you are saying, I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, then note that you are calling that I as Brahman. So it cannot be understood through meditation, concentration, incantation, or penance. It is only attainable through the company of the realized, with devotion to the self, the singing of God's praises through bhajan, and by understanding the knowledge imparted by the Master. This conviction that I am Brahman is important. Yet Saint Tukaram's devotion made him understand that the Supreme Self exists without attributes as well as with attributes. Chant the name of God with fervor. This container, this body, cannot be relied upon, and death comes in the blink of an eye.